We Scorpios, we like to overthink things. We like to sit and stuff and mull it over and go, oh no, it didn't fit, but what if? Reel it in, lady, reel it in. I'm no relationship expert. I'm just saying. Let's get to it. Hello, my fellow Scorpios. How are y'all doing? I'm great. I'm excited to get this reading done. So now, before I get started, first I have to do my disclaimer. I'm just an interpreter of symbolism. I don't know who you are. I don't know your individual circumstances. So you should take this reading with a grain of salt. I appreciate you watching. I just want you to be aware that you should use your own intuition and remember that if it vibes, and you should take that and see if it can help you. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So don't worry about it. And just, I know we Scorpios, we like to overthink things. We like to sit and stuff and mull it over and go, oh no, it didn't fit, but what if? No, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to be tempted. Don't do it. Okay. All right. Now that I'm reel it in, lady, reel it in. Okay. I'm excited. Can you tell? Let's get into this reading. What the first part is I'm going to give you overall energy for the month of June. I know we're already into June, but, I'm doing my best here. I'm just trying to get these videos out to you. So, maybe it'll be just for the next 2-3 weeks. I don't know. So our first card, the overall energy for us Scorpios in June is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So there's a change. There's a shift happening. Cycles are moving. We're moving forward. There's spiritual evolution happening. There's progress happening. We're seeking contact with the soul through exploring music and art and philosophy and stuff like that. Okay. We're tapping into our emotions and our intuition in June. Okay. That's the Wheel of Fortune. That's our overall energy. Okay. So that's going to be affecting the rest of the reading. So remember, this forward momentum, this progress, and this shift in energy is going to be affecting us for the whole month of June. Okay. Now we're going to get into your strengths and weaknesses, our strengths and weaknesses. Oh my goodness. So what this is going to do is give us some insight onto our inner workings. What are we good at? What are we not so good at? What needs improvement? The good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's get started. Our first card is the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles, oh, by the way, this is the Starman Tarot. It's absolutely gorgeous. Of course, favoritism. I had to give myself the prettiest deck. Okay. So the Queen of Pentacles. This is someone who's in harmony with the earth. This is someone who uses their senses first. When we are interacting with the world, my fellow Scorpios who are resonating with this video, who are watching this video right now, okay, we interact with the world first using our senses, meaning what we can see, hear, taste, smell, all those things, okay? That's what is real to us first. That is what we use as the evidence more often than anything else. Okay. So Queen of Pentacles. This is someone who's very in tune with her body also. Okay. See, she's social and generous. She's nurturing. She's a good mom. She's abundant. You see here in this image, she's got these strong roots. She's rooted to the ground. She has a solid foundation. She is powerful. She is abundant, right? So this is like a really good card to indicate moms and nurturing and just being connected with your community and your family. Yay, good start. The Queen of Pentacles, that's done. Okay, now the next card is the Prince of Pentacles, okay? This guy, you see that his horse is atop these stumps, okay? That horse isn't going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's gonna stay right there. The Knight of the Prince of Pentacles in this deck. The Prince of Pentacles is slow moving, but he's a hard worker. Okay. He's the worker who brings the fruits forth, right? He's the one that tills the fields. He's the one that he works with the Queen of Pentacles, honestly, and the King of Pentacles to help cultivate, right? This is the one who goes out and takes action, this is the one who goes out and takes action. Like the Queen of Pentacles is not going to go out and, divvy out her riches herself, but the Prince of Pentacles, he'll go out and do it for her, right? So you have both of these elements in you. You don't require someone else to go do this for you. You have both of these elements in you where you are both the abundant nurturer who has all of the things to give and the person who will go out into the streets and actively do the giving. Though it may take you time and planning, you're willing to do the work, right? Because you are an earthy and practical person. I love this. You may be really good at money management right now in June also. So that's really cool. Our next card is the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. The Ten of Pentacles is abundance in the family and in money, good relations, using your talents and abilities to their fullest, taking part in collective experiences, great wealth and abundance. Like this is just like these three cards. You're abundant. You have a happy family life. Your social life is doing well. June's looking good for us. At least in our senses. Our senses are not taking over and making us unbalanced. That's the good thing. We didn't get any of the negative pentacles cards. Actually, I don't know. Is there a negative pentacles card? Yes, there are. So, no. We're good. We're good. Pentacles wise, we're using our senses to the best of their abilities in June. That's great. Now, the next strongest suit we have is Wands, and that's our feelings, our emotions. So this one also is pretty strong. So our first card is the Seven of Wands, okay? And so the Seven of Wands is victory through courage. Though we may have a lack of confidence at first, we have to remember that we do have the moral high ground. We need to continue toward our goal. And as long as we remain objective, as long as we remain courageous, and as long as we remember what our original goal was, as long as we keep that in mind, we will be successful. Okay, that is the Seven of Wands. Okay, now the Four of Wands. Can you see that? And the Four of Wands is the stabilization of the will, and that brings peace, prosperity, and romance. This is drive, enthusiasm, and carefully executed plans. Okay, so between this and the Seven of Wands, our emotions are looking very stable. We may have a lack of confidence. We just need to remember to have courage. So as long as we are, keeping our goal in mind and staying focused and remembering to plan ahead, I think emotionally we'll be able to stay stable in the month of June, even when we feel like we're being attacked. So that's good. This is good. This is very good. Okay, so next is our weaker suits, the places where we have issues. So the first one is the Princess of Swords, okay? So swords being the thinking function means we don't always use our brains to do things. Maybe just in the month of June. You may generally be a person who does think a lot, but in the month of June, you're not really in your head as much. And let's talk about it. Okay. So Princess of Swords, she is logical and analytical. She is developing an independent thought process. Okay. She's breaking long ingrained ego patterns. The budding thinking function is still developing. We need to work to free ourselves from other people's views, and we need to ground our mental faculties. Okay, so in the month of June, there's still development to be had in our thinking function. So we need to do things like memory games or word puzzles, math puzzles like Sudoku, take a class, learn a language, write, read, anything that challenges your brain. Do DIYs, do crafts that require you to follow complex instructions. Okay, those are things that really help to develop that thinking function and allow you to use the sensing function because you have to work with your hands. So knitting, crocheting, sewing, yeah. Also STEM projects and STEM DIYs, science, technology, engineering, math, that STEM. Okay, those are the kinds of things that you should be looking for in the month of June to help improve that thinking function. Okay, because there is still development to be had. Also, read books that challenge your views. Yes, read books that challenge your views because, again, we are trying to find our own way of thinking. So we need to expose ourselves to lots of different philosophies and lots of ways of thinking about the world and thinking about the way things work so that we can come up with what works for us truly, like in our core. All right. So that's something that needs to develop in the month of June. Now, the next one, Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is that. There we go. The Eight of Cups is emotional disturbances that cause introspection. Okay. We have an immature personality that is seeking permanence and growth. We are seeking answers to life's big questions, turning your back on what is known, turning your back on what you know, and trying to seek new information. And this is also a return to nature and a need to listen to your inner wisdom. So the Eight of Cups traditionally is like walking away from things that no longer serve you. So there's going to be a lot of going inward in June for us. I think we're going to need to be in our heads, even if we don't want to be. Like our senses and our emotions are going to be real balanced, which gives us the opportunity to feed these parts of ourselves that are more weak and imbalanced. So, month of June, go learn something. And in learning stuff, actually, if you learn stuff about philosophy and religion, that can help improve your intuition. If you read books about meditation methods and stuff like that, that can help improve your intuition as well. And like doing those two things simultaneously will help to improve both of those functions simultaneously. So, and it also utilizes your strongest function. So, homework, challenge your brain, challenge your morals, challenge your point of view. That's your homework for June. Okay, now we're going to get into the transformational power. And these are the major arcana that came up in your general reading. And these are going to give us some insight as to what major energies are causing this shift in June, causing you to move forward in June. Okay, so Temperance is the first card I have for you. And Temperance is a dark night of the soul experience. So that's like when you're going through a really challenging time. And this is an experience where you're tested repeatedly and feel like you're not making progress. It's really difficult, but it brings a sort of enlightenment. It causes you to get clarity on something that you didn't have clarity on before. Because in examining the cycle that you keep repeating, you get insight into what needs to change, right? So this is a card of going through the trial and error process of finding the right combination or finding the balance. I'm thinking of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, how she like goes through all three every time to find just the right one, right? It's too hot, it's too cold, now it's just right. So you just have to keep at it and keep making adjustments until it feels balanced, and success will be achieved with Temperance, okay? The next card we have is the Lovers. So with the Lovers card, one aspect of the self must die to the opposite aspect of the self, right? So it's like you have to let go of your strengths so that you can feed your weaknesses more effectively. That's interesting. This could also be a sense of feeling disoriented or confused by the world and the circumstances that you're in. But with the lovers, opposites can unite in the presence of unconditional love, divine love. So there is a need for patience, and there's a need for like self-love and unconditional love of yourself and your inner child, because you need to let go of something, and you need to, so in order to let go of that thing, you need to identify what it is first, and that requires introspection. So that's a thing in June. Your last major arcana card, our last major arcana card, is the Sun. So the Sun is good, but with the Sun, it's a self-revelation. It's this light that reveals things that were once hidden in shadows, right? It's an intellectual insight. It's positive growth, but it can be uncomfortable. So we have a trend here. We may be a little uncomfortable in June. And it's because we need to let go of our sensing function in favor of our thinking and intuiting functions in June. So, my friend, again, we have some growing to do in June. Yes, we Scorpios, we do. We have growing to do. We're already doing very well. Our senses are very balanced. Our emotions are pretty stable, and that's good. That's a very good place to be, but that means we need to use this opportunity to nurture the parts of ourself that we have been neglecting. Okay. And so that is our mind. We need to feed our intellectual side, and we need to feed our spiritual side as well. Okay. So start feeding your spiritual side and your intellectual side. You can feed your intuition in creative ways by reading fantasy and allowing yourself to daydream and have fantasies, and then write those fantasies down. So that exercise right there is a very simple way to use, again, both your intuition and your thinking function. So just keep these things in mind. Try something. Try something. That's all I'm saying. All right. So next we're going to move into your relationship reading. And this is hopefully going to give you some insight on a relationship that you have, and help you figure out what's going on under the surface. Okay. It's going to first talk about you and the other person and how you're acting. And then it's going to talk about you and the other person subconsciously, those subconscious factors that are affecting your behavior beneath the surface. Okay. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right. So your first card, the card that represents you in this relationship, my friend, my fellow Scorpio, is the King of Shells. And this is from my Enchanted Love Tarot deck. Okay. So the King of Shells is creative, balanced, engaging. This is someone who has lots of different skill sets, who's really good at a lot of different things. Someone who is really good at reading people. And this is someone who gives really good advice. All right. So on the surface, in this relationship, this is how you're acting. You're acting like this person who is a counselor, who has lots of skill sets, who balances their life well, and who's very creative and engaging. Okay, so that's how you're acting. This other person on the surface is acting like the Prince of Gems. Okay, now the Prince of Gems is someone who is responsible and trustworthy. They know nothing is free, and they're willing to work for the things that they want and need. They're ambitious. They're strong. They're very connected with the earth. They can be assertive and goal-oriented. They can be really skilled in politics or community organizing, or just organizing things in general, like organizing things around the house. This person is honest and patient, but the Prince of Gems can be, when he's in his shadow aspect, the Prince of Gems can be kind of like an entitled kid, and be like the kind of person who's willing to just feed off of their parents for as long as possible. Sometimes that's possible with the Prince of Gems. once in a while, they can get a little too comfortable with the comforts and the riches that they have. But for the most part, it's a good card. The King of Shells, just be aware that the negative aspect here with this King of Shells energy that you have on the surface is that at times you could be a little too dreamy and a little too disconnected from the real world, which, I don't think vibes with the main reading, but you could get distracted sometimes, which is possible. So, and now, on the surface, the way you guys are relating to each other, like the way you're interacting. First, we have the Four of Roses, which is a long and happy relationship, respect and gratitude and equality, the result of hard work. So, on the surface, things are stable. Okay, this Four of Roses is like the Four of Wands, which you got in your general reading. So, it's stable emotions, things being stable in the household. That's good. Okay, that's a stable family life. So I'm inclined to think that you guys are showing up on the surface as the positive aspects of these people, not the negative ones. Okay, which is good. That's good. That's good. I like this. Okay, and then the Nine of Shells is the other part of the surface relationship. So that's true love and wishes granted and success and good health and fulfillment of desires. And so on the surface, this relationship looks really good. On the surface, this other person may be a little bit more mature. They may have some growing to do, but on the surface, this relationship is very stable and it's filled with lots of love. Oh, I love that. Yay. Now, beneath the surface, the way you are, or well, the subconscious energies that are affecting your behavior in the relationship are the Prince of Shells. Oh, the Prince of Shells. Okay, so can you see it? Okay. The Prince of Shells rejects conventional notions of what is appropriate, right? He does not just do what everyone tells him is the correct thing to do. All right. This is a bold and romantic and bohemian person. This is someone who's charming and poetic and imaginative, someone who is very knowledgeable of people and of emotions, and so they're really skilled in matters of love and in relationships. So on the surface, you're the visionary, and beneath the surface, you're the charmer. You're a very loving person, it looks like, and very imaginative, and you seem like in a relationship you're a hopeless romantic, which is very sweet. I love that. Okay, so this other person beneath the surface is the King of Gems. Okay, so you see that? Okay. The King of Gems has respect and appreciation for hard work and for those who work for him. He loves with all of his heart those in his family and his community, especially his spouse. This is a person who respects other people and respects other cultures. This is someone who is charismatic and sensible, pragmatic and serious-minded. They're very down to earth, very grounded. So beneath the surface, this person is a very mature and grounded person. Like, they may be younger than you physically, but beneath the surface, they are just as mature as you. Like, it's like you guys are very well balanced here. I'm seeing already a very nice balance. And then you are very water, they are very earth, and that seems to mesh very well in this relationship here. Now we're going to get into projections. So the way you view this person is the Prince of Roses. Okay. So that means you view them as someone who is brave and honest, someone who maybe likes to shake things up, maybe is a risk taker, right? Someone who can be impatient or easily bored. This is someone who could wear you out with challenging behavior sometimes. So it's not like this relationship is all sunshine and roses, right? There are times when this person gets on your nerves and maybe they're a little too much, right? Maybe they're a little too enthusiastic about getting work done and you just want to be off in la la land sometimes. Now, here's the thing. Projections are really a reflection of ourselves. So that is not necessarily that other person. Really, it's you. Everything you see in another person that you like or dislike is a reflection of yourself. So, my friend, maybe you're the risk taker. Maybe step back and gain some objectivity here. Like, are there times where maybe I'm a little bit of a risk taker and setting an example for that person? Are there times where I like to shake things up and step on people's toes? Are there times where I can be challenging and wear other people out? Be honest with yourself. Be honest. I mean, come on, Scorpio. Come on. I'm a Scorpio too. I know we can be challenging. Of all the signs, we can be very challenging. So just be aware of your own behavior. Okay? And don't just foist everything out off onto the other person. Take responsibility for the example that you may be setting for this person, especially if this isn't a romantic relationship. If this is a parent-child relationship, be aware of the example you may be setting. Now, this other person sees in you the Queen of Wings, okay? Now, the Queen of Wings is someone who is independent and self-sufficient. She's honest and direct and understanding, unclouded by sentimentality or superstition. This person tends to not be very emotional, but it's not that they don't care. It's just they show it differently. They may not be like the touchy-feely, romantic type of person. Okay, that's this Queen of Wings energy. Okay, now the Queen of Wings can be picky or precise. They can be great conversationalists. They can be very good at listening. And this, again, is a person who gives good advice. So it's like they're getting the good advice part right, but they're seeing you as someone who is more independent, more self-sufficient, and less emotional. I'm not sure why they're seeing you as less emotional. It could be because this King of Shells does tend to come off as being more aloof, which, I can understand that. Normally, the Queen of Wings, the Queen of Swords in the traditional tarot is not necessarily an aloof character, but in this deck, she does seem to be more of that, like, aloof and, like, on the surface kind of cold, right? So this is how this person sees you. It's not that you necessarily are this way. This is just how you appear to them. And it's not a bad thing, right? It's good to be honest and direct, right? It's good to be a good listener. It's good to be a good conversationalist, right? I would say that they probably just aren't getting to see vulnerable parts of you enough, or aren't getting to see emotional parts of you enough. And that gives them this idea that you are more cold and less intuitive than you are. So maybe get comfortable with exposing that part of yourself to that person, and maybe they'll understand you a little bit better. Same on the other side, maybe get to know this person a little bit better. I don't think they're necessarily the Prince of Roses character that you perceive them to be. I think that you, because under the surface, you are this person who rejects conventional notions, you probably are more of the mover and shaker than this other person. This other person seems to be far more grounded and more slow moving. You guys probably just don't see eye to eye because you're not quite understanding each other. So on the surface, this relationship is really good. Now, there are a couple things that maybe need to improve, but like any relationship always needs improvement. So what can you say? All you can do is sit down, have conversations, maybe allow yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable if that is appropriate in this relationship. Okay. Now, beneath the surface, the way you guys are relating to each other, let's get a little bit more insight. I have 3 more cards for you in this reading. So the next card you have is the 8 of Shells. The 8 of Shells means that we need to be more aware of our physical, emotional, or mental sacrifices. Okay. We may have a tendency towards shyness or withdrawal. We may take ourselves too seriously. And we may need to learn a little bit more about self-love and self-nurturing. Okay. So I think it would behoove you in this relationship to learn a bit more about yourself and about being vulnerable. I think that also you do need to be more open. I think we need to be more open, definitely. Like I said, with that vulnerability, we got to be a little bit more open and be a little bit more vulnerable in this relationship, I think. Again, if that is appropriate. Like if it's a work relationship, I don't think so. But this doesn't appear to be a work relationship. Nine of Gems is our next one, and that's independence. Dramatic improvement in a relationship. Becoming independent and self-reliant. Okay? Enjoying outdoor activities. Treating your health as your greatest wealth. Developing a strong sense of self. This is a card that indicates that you have already accomplished a lot and that you should stick to your plan, whatever it is. Yeah, this is good. This is a good card. This is like the Nine of Pentacles. So that's like the Nine of Pentacles in the traditional tarot is a lady standing alone in a garden, and she has cultivated that garden so that it is absolutely gorgeous, but she's by herself. Right? So there's a need for some self-sufficiency. There's a need for a little bit of self-knowledge, and maybe a need to be a little bit more open to being vulnerable. Okay. Especially if you're making sacrifices for the relationship, you might want to be a little bit more open about that. Like maybe those sacrifices are unnecessary. I don't know. Communication helps. I'm just saying. I'm no relationship expert. I'm just saying that communication usually helps to diffuse a situation. Anyways, the last card you have for your relationship reading is Justice. Okay? You will get what you deserve and more. Truth and beauty will prevail over ignorance. Things are going to end up being fair in the end. This is improvements in your home and your relationship, balance and mutual understanding and acceptance. This is give and take. It's trust, and it's a loving family who spends time together. So, my friend Ed, I think things are looking up for this relationship. On the surface, it looks really good. Beneath the surface, it looks pretty good too. There's just a little bit we need to open up a little bit, be a little bit vulnerable with the other person a little bit. Be aware that maybe you're misinterpreting their actions and maybe you're projecting on them a little bit. So be aware of yourself and how you're interpreting their actions and how you may be projecting yourself onto them, and be aware that having conversations and being open is the very best way to improve any relationship, okay? That is the end of that. I hope that was helpful for you. Now we're going to finish off this reading with some oracle cards and I will be done. All right? Let's get into it. Your first oracle card is from the Hedge Witch's Botanical Oracle deck. There we go. I remembered it by checking. Okay, so what you got is marshmallow. Nummy, nummy, mallow. Okay, and that's adversity. All right. This is a hardy plant that thrives in times of scarcity. All right. It has been used for food since the Holy Roman Empire, specifically in times of famine and drought. All right. So this is a reminder. Oh, this card also, or marshmallow also is one of the first plants to start growing again after things have been burnt by wildfires. So it's like a phoenix from the ashes, which is very important for us because we Scorpios, that's one of our symbols. So just be aware, phoenix from the ashes. If you're dealing with something difficult, we always come back better. All right. So I might be a little biased. So this is a reminder that sweetness can arise and sustain us through difficult times. All right? Rest and care for yourself. To do your best, you gotta be your best. So just take it one step at a time. Remember that you're gonna rise up from these ashes. If anything's giving you trouble right now, everything's gonna be fine. Everything I see here is that even if you're uncomfortable, everything's gonna be fine in the end. You just gotta be chill. You just gotta chill out. There is there's just a need to chill. have more confidence. Like, we need more self-confidence, guys. We got to work on this. Scorpios, we are amazing. We're amazing. You're amazing. I'm amazing. We're amazing. Of course, we need to improve our self-confidence. We deserve to be confident. Duh. Man. Okay, so your last two cards, I'll stop talking soon, I promise. Okay, so your last two cards are self-sufficiency, and these are from my Wild Offerings Oracle deck. Self-sufficiency. The ultimate self-sufficiency is relying on God. It doesn't mean hiding in a cave and saying, I don't need people. Instead, it's saying, God is my source, and I am willing to receive all the help, love, and support that wants to come. So if you need to reach out for help, maybe now's the time. I'm just saying. Being self-sufficient does not mean making all the sacrifices and doing everything yourself. Okay? That's not what it means. Like, you've done the work. You don't need to work anymore. Chill. Just feed your brain right now. Relax your body. Feed your brain. It's like, connect with God. Connect with God. Like, that's improving your intuition. Like, I'm just saying. Travel. Let every aspect of this trip unfold in harmony. May divine order arrange and handle every detail. I'll be guided easily and follow the leads as they are shown. If you are moving into a new home, if you are traveling to a new place, going on any kind of trip, or if you are just growing in any way in June, this applies to you. All right? Everything will work out fine. You just need to have faith. Let God handle it and follow the leads that are shown. You'll get signs and symbols. You just follow those. Follow your intuition and follow logic. Those are the two things you need to rely on in June to guide you successfully on this journey. You will be self-sufficient. You are a powerful human being. Go out and be amazing, Scorpio. I will see you next time. Please like and subscribe. If you are interested in a personal reading, I do give those, so you may look it down below in that little doobly-doo down there. And that's where you'll find information on how to contact me and a bunch of other stuff. All right. So I'll see you next time. Bye.